Is our live stream already going? Okay. So if there are any other Belize participants that come in, they can join.
Yep. So we'll have
Probably
sit.
by Crystal.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
All right.
Well, welcome to confirmation tonight. We have a little bit of a different evening because tonight we are hearing from our Belize participants, sort of a recap from their summer trip. We did this last year as well for the first time. Had our trip participants come back and share for our confirmation youth so that you can hear. If you haven't heard, weren't able to be at their return worship in August, then you get to hear some of the songs and stories. So, Belize participants, I'm going to ask that you come up to the front for our songs. And that includes everybody, the youth and adults, because I love you so much. So we are going to start out with Lighthouse. So get on your feet. Go for it. And join us in the actions, please. In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are peace in my troubled sea. In the silence, you won't let go. In the questions, your truth will hold. Your great love will lead us through. You are peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are peace in my troubled sea. Here we go. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. My lighthouse, here we go. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. Woo! Okay, we're gonna sing Gospel Light. Well, this little gospel light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 this little gospel light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Frank is here from Belize. Here we go. All around the whole wide world, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 all around the whole wide world, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 all around the whole wide world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine all the time. This little light, this little gospel light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 this little gospel light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 this little gospel light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine all the time. We gotta do a big finish. Let it shine, let it shine all the time. Woo! See if there we go. So we're super excited to have our high school youth here helping out tonight that went to Belize this summer. Thank you so much. We're grateful for you. High fives. We are going to start like we always start and do our prayers at this time. So I know Belize youth, you do not have note cards and pens near you like the groups do, but you could get one from Miss Jennifer Slipka, Mr. Mike Boyak, Cynthia's back there, any of the guides. If there should be plenty of pens and note cards. So we'd invite you to write a prayer. This is like we do in worship or back when you were in confirmation. I'm not sure that we did it every year. We started it a little bit later for some, but write a prayer request down on the note card and then turn it into the basket here, and Pastor Bruce and I will pray those at this time. So I invite you to take a deep breath and slow down from your busy day and take a moment to just center yourself and think about some prayer requests that you have or a thanksgiving, and take this time to pray together. So.
I'm forgiven because you were forsaken. I'm
right. Take some deep breaths. Center yourself. Still your mind and heart after, I'm sure, a very busy, full day. Prayer is about paying attention to the presence of the Holy Spirit. So make your spirit attentive to the Holy Spirit as we lift up our prayers. Dear Lord, we come to you thankful that you are more ready to hear than we are to pray. And you promised to answer as you see best for us. So today, Lord, we lift these prayers to you. I pray that I get my grades up before first trimester ends. I pray that I get a good grade on my math test. Prayers of peace and comfort for my cousin as she enters comfort care this week. I pray that my science test and math test go good on Friday. I pray for the kids who had First Communion on Sunday. I pray for Johanna's family. Lord, in your mercy.
Hear our prayer. God, I pray for those who are homeless as they seek shelter and it's getting colder outside. I pray for the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, that hearts will be consoled and bring out peace. I pray for good grades and happiness. God, I hope to do good on my final day of volleyball tryouts and hope to make a travel team on the Minnesota Select. I pray for everyone who is in war, for all the brave soldiers fighting for their country. God, I pray for good grades. I pray for my grandparents to stay healthy and for Ava and Maya and all those going to state to do good. I pray that I do well on my quiz tomorrow and that everyone has a safe and fun rest of their week. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer.
Lord, please be with everyone who is grieving a loved one who has passed away. I pray for my family dog. I pray that I will get good grades and do well at hockey and hope friends and family stay safe. Pray that I do well on my psych test and that Frank's family is well. I pray that Frank enjoys the rest of his time in the U.S. and I pray he has safe travels home and that his family is well. Thank you, God, for everything you have done to improve my life. Thank you for making me happy. Lord, in your mercy.
Hear our prayer. God, I pray for all of the Olive family who have lost loved ones. Today I pray, God, for my great-grandma, that she will stay well and happy. I pray that everyone has a good rest of the week. I pray for those struggling or suffering, whether they're experiencing a loss or other things that might be hard. Thankful for food, family, and friends. I pray for the volleyball team that they have a good game and win this week. Prayers for those struggling with mental health, that they find the support they need. I pray that everyone stays safe who is homeless, that they might find a shelter for winter. I pray, God, for good grades and for my math test to go well. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer.
Lord, I pray for my grandma to get better. I pray for people who are struggling. I pray for people who experienced a loved one dying. I pray I have a good basketball season and do well on my retake test for history. And I pray that you be with the people in Armenia and Gaza and Israel who are grieving the loss of family due to war. I pray for good grades and for homeless people to keep warm this winter. I pray for my friend with her mental health. Please be with her and protect her. I pray for people in need of clothes as it gets colder. I pray for the weather and hope people drive safe. Pray for a good rest of the week and a healthy winter. Lord, in your mercy.
Hear our prayer. I pray for safety and health for the people suffering in Palestine. Pray, God, for the youth of Light of Christ. Bless their time tonight. Let the faith and learning of those from the Belize trip inspire them and create positive change. I pray that everyone is doing well in school and staying healthy. I pray for the war in Ukraine, that it will end in lasting peace. I pray that everyone has a good rest of the week. I pray for everyone that's struggling with this colder weather. Pray for the varsity football team that they stay safe on Friday. I pray that I do good on my upcoming test. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer.
I pray that my friend's hand heals and it feels better. I pray for my friend's back that it gets better as well. I pray that everyone keeps warm as the snow continues to come in the weeks ahead. Pray for the state cross-country meet. Pray for Frank in this unfamiliar cold weather. Lord, in your mercy,
Hear our prayer. God, I pray for good grades and for the people who don't have food. I pray for all those people in the world to be healed in every way. I pray for anyone grieving a loss of a loved one. I pray for good science test grades. I pray for people without food and people who are homeless. I pray that volleyball wins tomorrow. Pray for family, grades, pets. I pray that we win our game tomorrow. Pray that everyone stays healthy and for the volleyball team to win tomorrow. Pray for my hockey game against Maple Grove and that it goes well. I pray for good weather this winter. I pray that I do good on my science test. Pray that you be with Christy and Jason, Matt and Stephanie, Beth and Marcy, Elizabeth and Michael. Anyone else that we list on our mind and hearts that might be struggling in any way, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally. We know that as the darker days come, it can sometimes be hard. And I just pray that people find connections and ways to strengthen friendships and reach out when they need someone to talk to or someone to walk with when they might feel alone. That we know that you're always with us, but that also that we have friends and community that surrounds us. So pray for our youth tonight, and thank you for an incredible mission trip to Belize, for Frank's safe travel, and for his witness here tonight, that you help us to share your word through the incredible experiences we had this summer, that the confirmation youth would see your light shine through us. We ask all this in your name, and all God's children said, Amen. So I'm really excited that he'll go by Frank or Frank. His family calls him, what is it? Frank, but you have sort of a nickname too with them. We met his family this summer, and he has been so gracious to be here this last week to share several experiences with us. I'm going to let him introduce himself now. He's here from Belize and has gotten the cold weather. Trying to stay warm amongst the cold. When we were in Belize, it was in the 90s. I would say that it probably hit 100, didn't it? I mean, it was very, very hot. And he said cold is in the 60s there. So they're experiencing some of that now, and they break out winter coats when it's 60 degrees in Belize. So we met his family this summer when we were there, and we are going to show you a slideshow in a minute, but I'm going to have Frank introduce himself first. He is 22 years old and a leading expert in archaeology, which he'll talk a little bit more about, but he's done some incredible digs, excavation of remains of people that have passed away, like old kings and queens in Belize. They have these mounds, and they know that is where the remains, there may have been a house there, and then he works with a team of people to excavate the remains, and they find DNA. What was it, the bones of the ear?
Yes, there's a little bone like right behind your ear. Like it's the hardest bone in your body, by the way, and it stores a lot of DNA. So that is what we use.
So they can tell a lot about the nobles or the kings and queens from that bone, and so they're trying to trace some of the lineage and where kings and queens came from, all these different things. But he's done a PBS special and has another one coming, and has done incredible things. Started doing archaeology when he was 13 years old. Raise your hand if you're 13. Raise your hand if you're 14. Raise your hand if you're 15. So he was doing archaeology at your age, and has now just made an incredible impact on history and the Mayan, learning about the Mayan culture. There's actually an exhibit at the Science Museum right now that we would highly recommend. We went yesterday and checked it out, and there's a lot of incredible, he knew a lot of the people that were speaking in the videos and different things. So it's a great way to go and learn more about the Maya culture. There's learning about the hieroglyphs, the writing that they use, and just a lot of really incredible history and knowledge there. So why don't you introduce yourself, and then we're going to show a little slideshow, and you'll get some more time later to talk as well. But
Okay.
so
Thank you for saying that, because I have to stop myself to talk. So, yeah, thank you. All right, so my name is Frank, right? A lot of people say Frank. It's fine. I just say Frank, right? That's how we pronounce it in Belize. It's Frank. So I am 22 years old, and as I mentioned, I've been doing archaeology since I was 13 years old, and doing ministry at our church since I was a kid. And I'm a youth pastor now at our church, and just trying to promote worship in our church, right? And many times we hear worship, but many times we have this expectation of God, and just coming before Him, and just expecting things from God. But I always say, what if we're that generation that comes to God and says, like, what do you want from me? Right? What do you want from me, God? What can I do for you? How can I worship you? Right? And it's just that sense of worship. And I am a youth pastor, as I mentioned, the director of a music band in our church. And we have been playing around Belize, and actually I have to go back because we're going to play on some events. So I also do kids ministry. I work with the kids ministry in our church. And I am also working with the adults at our church. So maybe leave it there, and then we talk more now.
okay, sounds good. So you will, while we have this time together, I would encourage you to think about questions that you might have for Frank or anybody that went on the trip. But we're going to show you a little slideshow right now. Are you ready for gratitude? You got a chair? Do you want to pick? Oh, you can also. Would you? He's been dealing with a little bit of a head cold from the cold weather, and so here are some photos from our trip. And Frank is he's an incredible musician, guitar player, piano player. Whatever you sing, Frank, is going to be amazing. So do you want the pick? No? Okay. So enjoy these photos from our trip, and then we'll have some stories for you. Yeah. So you saw that a lot of different things in those pictures. I'm going to give you a quick little recap of what we did for the week. And while I do that, I'm going to invite the Belize participants to think about if there's anything that they would like to share from their favorite experience, biggest thing they learned, takeaway, something that has maybe impacted your life since the trip, things like that. So we flew down there on Saturday and got messages on Friday night that our flight was delayed and delayed and delayed. So that was interesting. We got to the airport and were able to catch our flight, but they changed. This is the fun of traveling, like doing major travel with a group of 55 people. Because our flight left Minneapolis late, they moved the gate in Dallas, Texas to literally we got off one plane and right onto the other, and they were holding the plane for us for about a half an hour so that our group of 55 could get off one gate and right onto the next. So they changed that gate location, which was nice. We were able to get down to Belize. It's always a little stressful getting down there, but we got all of our luggage, arrived in Belize, and then Sunday we did, if you saw the Mayan tour, Sudatunich, I'm not saying that exactly, Zunatunich, is that Shunatunich? It's tricky. But it's not your native tongue. I should have you up here saying words where you do that. Why don't you, where those mics are on, but yeah. Oh, perfect. So went to the Mayan ruins, and Frank, as well as his brother Abdon and some other, their tour guides at the ruins, and so they shared a lot of incredible information, and some of us went all the way to the very top, and that's where you saw the big views. But if you do end up going to the Science Museum, they have, and those of you that went to Belize, you should go and check it out because, say it again, Shunatunich.
There's some Belizean artifacts from Shunatunich
Yes.
there.
They're at the Science Museum, and also there's a replica of that side, the wall on the left-hand side that we walked up and took some pictures by. There's a replica there, and there's like the picture that you were in that like everybody, the groups were behind you. Those stairs you can see in one of the videos. It's just really cool. So the things that we experienced and saw, you'll actually see at the Science Museum. So we did that on Sunday and helped me fill in gaps. But we did worship every single evening. That's one thing that's a big part of our trips is we have worship together and share stories and ways that we saw God at work through our day. And the youth always help to lead worship. So that's always a really important, powerful time of our day. And then Monday and Tuesday, we learned a lot about Mayan culture. Half of our group went to Frank's house and met his family and nieces and nephews. So the pictures with some of the kids was from Frank's nieces and nephews. And we learned some traditional Mayan cooking, and that was the banana leaves. We were cooking, like you burn them or you heat them up to make sure that there's...
So it's just to make them pliable, so that we can wrap the tamales.
Okay, so that's for wrapping tamales. And so we made a lot of Mayan food, and then we got to eat it. And then half of our group helped with a service project at Frank's house to build a bathroom facility for their family. They just have an outhouse there at the time. And then part of the group also went down and did a kids club. So when you saw the jump roping and the flying kites, we brought a bunch of that stuff with us and got to play with the kids from the village, Frank's village, San Antonio. And then on the opposite day, so half our group, they flip-flopped, we also went to a coffee farm. And Ashmul, which means three, I added two. 3 mounds. At least I knew it was a number.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, it's been a few months. So it's the original name of San Antonio.
Oshmulka was the original name.
Say it again.
Oshmulka.
Ashmulka. And so they were the very first coffee farm in the village. They didn't think they would be able to grow coffee there, and they sort of proved them wrong, but it's a very long process, years and years to grow the coffee and harvest it and actually get a bean that you can roast and get coffee from. But they do the whole process start to finish. They grow the coffee and then pick it, and you saw them rolling, that was grinding the coffee, different things like that. We actually got to plant a bunch of coffee seedling trees. Then we saw tarantulas in the fields and all this different wildlife. And so some people liked that more than others. But learned about the small business, but of growing coffee and kind of what that was for the life. Their whole family lived right on this coffee plantation, and it's just, it was an incredible sense of peace and just an amazing, like you walk onto this place and their whole family lives there and just they're working together from young to old to make this, they have to roast it by hand for an hour. The longer you roast it, this is one thing I learned, the less caffeine there is in it. So a lighter roast has more caffeine than a darker roast because the longer you roast it, it burns the caffeine out of it. So that was really interesting. But we got to bring coffee home and drink coffee, and we also ate a lot of traditional Mayan food there as well, or Belize food as well. And then Wednesday, we went to a different village, and you saw the dancing in the circle. We had a youth night at a local church with a pastor of a different congregation. Pastor Floyd was a partner congregation, and we did some food distribution visits with families. You saw Kaylee with a parakeet on her hand. That was from a home visit. We got to bring some groceries to some families in need and meet them, and then had that youth night. And then on Thursday, that's when we did the paintings. We spent the whole day at a camp and did some rehabilitation of a camp that was hit hard by Hurricane Lisa. And so spent the whole day there, ate lunch at the camp, and did some things to fix it up. So we got time with kids. We got some hands-on hard work labor. We were digging. We were learning a lot about the culture. And so one thing about these trips is that it's not just one thing, right? There's lots of different service options, but it's not just the doing, it's the learning, it's the relationships, walking alongside and really getting to know people. And then Friday we got to go snorkeling. So that was and we didn't, you saw the sharks. There was a picture, I was going to say there weren't a lot of snorkeling pictures, but did you see the one picture with all what are they called? Nurse sharks? Nurse sharks. So swam with the stingrays and the sharks and did some snorkeling. And got to eat on an island. That was the only time that we were on the water. So Belize is a beautiful country that is right on the water, but we were mainly inland most of the time. And then we flew home Saturday. So that was our week in a nutshell. So I know, great. Say again.
Would be a highlight would be the howler monkey tour.
Yes, we went. You saw the monkey on the video. We went on a howler monkey tour, and it was raining then, so some people ate termites. Tastes kind of like minty carrots, which was fascinating. They're very little, so you try to get you stick your finger in this thing and try to get a bunch of them on there, because the more you get the flavor. So I tried one at first and it was like nothing, but then I stuck my finger in there and got a bunch of them on there and got that minty carroty flavor. So yes, it was funny. Not everybody did that, but lots of adventures on mission trips.
It tastes like carrot according to many people.
Yeah, and a little bit of mint. It was really different. So the howler monkey was really, and they literally howled. I mean, we could hear them also at the place where we stayed, and if you're interested in that sort of thing, I've got videos of them how do you describe it? I mean, they are loud. Yeah, dinosaurs are like they're... So if you're interested in hearing a howler monkey, we have some actual videos. But
yeah, and
here it comes. Listen to this.
They sound big, right?
So,
if you have watched Jurassic Park, they use this sound for Jurassic Park. For those who've watched it, yeah. They sound like they are big animals, but they're just this big, I believe, right? And there was a lady where we were, she stayed in the car. She thought they were big animals. She didn't want to come out of her car because she was like, what are those? But it was just a small animal.
Yeah, and they're way up high in
Yeah.
the tree. So we were lucky to see them and hear them, actually. So, yeah. I know Grace offered to share some. Are you willing to go first? Okay. So Grace Riefenberger is a senior this year. She went on her first mission trip to Belize this summer. So I'll let her, and anybody, think about what else you want to say, okay?
Okay, so obviously this was my first mission trip, and then it was out of the country too, so that was very new. And one of my favorite experiences was going to Frank's house and being there for the day. We did some service work, so we dug a 7-foot septic hole, so we were there for a little bit, and then we also did a kids camp, which was mentioned in the video. I really enjoyed it because I love kids, so being with the kids all day was really fun, and then making all these new connections with all these little kids was also super amazing. And then also learning new things about the Mayan culture was also very intriguing and interesting as well. And then I would say for a lot of us, when we were leaving Frank's house, it was very heartbreaking but also heartwarming at the same time, because we made a lot of new connections with all the little kids and also Frank's family. And I would say it was very eye-opening for myself, and it definitely brought me a lot closer to people. And it definitely taught me to, be grateful for what I have, because seeing what they have compared to what we have is totally different. And so that was definitely one of my favorite experiences. But overall, the Belize trip was amazing, and I definitely recommend a mission trip.
High schoolers, are you willing to share your favorite experience or your biggest takeaway? Connor, are you ready? Wait, what? Come on. What was your favorite experience?
Definitely the pineapple. Thank you, Greg.
Okay, well, but seriously, talk about the fruit.
Oh no, the fruit was the best. If you go to Coburn's and get fruit, it's not the same. You need to go down to South America or Central America and get fruit there.
I mean, literally, apples
No.
are.
No.
Yeah. We got bananas at the coffee farm. They picked them right off the tree and gave them to us. And I could not believe the flavor difference. It tasted like tropical paradise. I'd never had a banana other than, here, and it was incredible. What?
So when I was down there, I made a lot of connection with kids. When I was down there, I'd say one of the kids was Jaman. I think that's how you say it, or I think so. But he was really good at soccer, and me and my friend Aiden Quant, we both went and bought him a soccer ball, and we gave the kid the soccer ball. And then also at Frank's house with Daniel and I forgot the other name, Mingo. That's what it was. I knew it started with an M. That looks so bad, but it's okay. No, but me and Daniel, we connected a lot, and when we left, like Grace said, it was very emotional. And I'll say, yeah, I did cry a bit, but it's okay. Then, yeah, just a little bit. No, and I'd say that's about it. Is there anything else? Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything?
Okay, so why was meeting the kids so impactful?
I'd say because it just shows you how grateful you need to be. Because when we first arrived there, they had these Pokemon cards. I had no clue how they played it, but I would say 5 rounds into the game, I figured, oh, there's rock, paper, scissors on it, and there's a little circle in the top right and bottom left where it just show the hands, and I'll be like, oh, how did I win this? And he's like, oh, it's rock, paper, scissors. I'm like, what? Because it was literal Pokemon cards, and I didn't know. And then there's also a game with marbles that they flick it, and he had 5 marbles, and he almost lost one. He was very sad that he almost lost one. It just shows how much they take for granted. I mean, no, did I say that wrong?
How much they value what they have, yeah.
How much what they value
Yeah.
for what they have and everything like that. So.
Yeah. And this was your first trip, yes, Connor? Yes. Yeah. Would you go back? Yeah. Oh, thanks for sharing, Connor. Yeah. Would you be willing to say something about worship? Come on. You've been on multiple trips, Miss Isabel. So tell me what worship is like in the evening time, or what's your and this year we did things a little bit differently.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so this is my second one. My first one, when we went up to the North Shore, we had like small group time when we did like church, and it was very like.
There were only 15 of us, so
yeah,
it was a
it was
small.
very like
Yep.
interactive, and it was like really impactful, like spiritually. This one was a little bit different. One night we actually went to a church, and the way like their style of church is a lot different compared to ours, a lot more uplifting and musically. Like when
There's a lot of
yeah.
a lot of music.
Small group time. I mean, I guess we still had like church within like our huge 55 group, and
So one of the things we did a little different this year with worship was God sightings. Do you want to talk about that?
no.
So we would, at the evening, we would share different God sightings. So some of the youth would offer up ways that they saw God at work throughout their day, and then afterwards we would snap. So I might say, I saw God through Terry today because I work with her, and she was willing to help me with a lot of things, and so she was my God sighting today, and then everybody would snap. So we did that in our evening worship, and it was a way for us to share kind of the different ways that we saw God at work throughout the day. So, and then the youth help lead songs and the message and all the different parts. So, yeah, everybody steps up and everybody pitches in and has a piece of it. So, thank you, Isabel. If this was your first mission trip, why don't you come up here real quick?
Want to come up here?
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Greg. Yeah. Come on. Just about back into the music stand. So, what was your biggest learning? And you could say one word, or what is, or it could be your favorite experience too, where you, for me, I think the trips, one of the biggest things I always take away is the relationships. These people up here, we got to grow a lot closer together, and the friendships are a lot stronger. So for me, I would say relationships. So, and you can take it and pass it down. Your favorite part of the trip, or biggest learning, or it could have been your favorite day on the trip, and maybe say your name and grade too.
Okay. I'm Bryn Spanier. I'm in 10th grade. One of my favorite memories was we went to. Well, this is not really okay.
You can share it.
When we went out to ice cream with the bus driver, only our half the group went, and so yeah, it was fun because there wasn't much fast food places. So.
Yep. Right. We were at Frank's house, came back crying, and the other group was getting ice cream. So one of the cool things about the trips is we have a lot of fellowship time, right? So getting to do experiences together as a group is just really bonding and awesome. Thank you, Bryn. Ice cream is really good on any trip you go on, right?
I'm Maya. I'm in 10th grade, and my favorite part was going to Frank's house and hanging out with his nieces and nephews.
So Maya really connected with Mingo, yes. You saw one of the pictures on the screen. So she's planning to go back soon to see Mingo, right? At some point. She's like, why can't we go when the adults go?
Hi, I'm Leslie. I went as a leader on this trip, and I would say I took away a lot, but my favorite and most terrifying before I did it was the foot washing. As a leader, I had to talk to my little small group and I was mortified. But it was the most emotional, amazing experience. There are no words. It still brings me all the feels when I think about it.
So it's a special worship service that just our group does towards the end of the week. All of the leaders wash the feet of their small group and pray with them, and so it's just a really powerful worship experience. And we did that by the pool this year because we had to, yeah. Grace, you already shared. If you want to pass it on, you can, or you can share another thing.
I'll say another one. I'm Grace. I'm a senior. I already shared my favorite part, but another one was making the connection with Frank's niece, Nazelli. I was there on Sunday night, and then I didn't come back until Tuesday. So being able to see her again and her remembering my face just really made my heart warm. And then I hung out with her all day, and then obviously leaving was hard, but she now has a special place in my heart, and I would definitely go back and see her.
Yay.
I'm Jeannie, and I was one of the adult leaders. I think one of the things I enjoyed was seeing all these kids start out kind of being a little more quiet, a little reserved, kind of not really getting to know each other, and by the end of the trip, they had amazing relationships. We all had amazing relationships, and I agree with Leslie. The washing of the feet was a major emotional breakthrough day, and it just made the trip that much better. It was unbelievable.
Woo-hoo.
I'm Connor. I'm a junior, and I would say another story that was good was when this guy to my left was starting to scream in the hallway and banged on our door and be like, "Oh my gosh, there's a spider! Help!" And he's going.
It was not our favorite moment because they woke us up. Oh, huge spider.
Oh no, yeah, Greg let it go, and then it ended up in her room, right? Did it end up in your room?
No, it ended up in our, it ended up in our room, and then Ryan
in someone's
Toole,
room, and someone screamed, and then it ended up in your room.
Ryan Toole ended up
yours?
killing
ended
it,
up
or
in
getting us
Jennifer's
out,
room.
getting it outside for
And
us.
then, we heard all about it, how they were all scared about the spider.
So
that was a good, fun moment for
Corey.
I'm Corey. I'm a junior. And my favorite part was probably just making connections with people on the trip and people we met.
I'm Olivia. I'm a sophomore, and mine's probably making connections with the kids and seeing all the joy that we brought them.
My name's Ashlyn. I'm a sophomore, and one thing I liked from the trip is making all the relationships and all the powerful stories that they told us and how much we impacted their lives.
I'm Ava. I'm a sophomore, and my favorite part was probably meeting the kids or going to the market.
My name's Madison.
Okay, hold up. So Ava just said about the market. Sorry, Madison. We did get to go to a market, which was really cool, and get some local food and drinks. So that was a really, really fun time to just, anybody who wanted to go, and one morning we got to go and go to a local Belize market. So sorry, Madison, I cut you off. Now you jump in.
I'm a junior, and my favorite thing was forming new connections with people.
I'm Lori, and I could probably go on for a long time, but I'll cut it real short. But it was a great opportunity because they opened it up to just adult participants, and it was my first mission trip. And so we were lucky enough. There was 8 of us that went as adult participants, and we did different things, and we connected. Frank, is Melissa your aunt? What's the connection there? A cousin. So Frank's other family, Melissa, we went there for dinner 3 nights. They fed us for dinner, and we did other things than some of what you heard about. We did different things, and we grew very connected to Melissa. Tracy was one of our leaders, and Melissa was her mom, and we grew very, very close to that family. And a lot of us participants still talk to Melissa. I talked to her right before church, before I came tonight. And we also, one thing that we all had is we all had devotions. And the last night we were at Melissa's house, we were all crying. Like the kids talked about when they left Frank's house, and there was a lot of tears. And we were all crying when we had our last dinner at Melissa's, just the relationships. And I said to Pastor, because we were so busy and we were so involved in stuff, sometimes we didn't do our devotions like we were supposed to do. And I said to Pastor, Pastor, we missed our devotions again tonight. And we were all crying, and he said, I think we're good, Lori. So, I mean, it was just a very emotional and very heartwarming every day. Every day had a lot of feelings.
And the cool thing to note about that is that the adults are going back to Belize in February. So if you are a confirmation guide that's here that's interested in getting more information, Frank would be a great one to talk about. They just had a meeting and 12 people came to that on Monday night. And so there's an adult group going back February 26th through March 2nd to work where Lori was talking, and Melissa and Tracy's, where the adult participants worked. So, Greg. Greg gets the participation award.
You took my line. I'm Greg, and I participated in everything that Lori just talked about.
Yep.
I would say the other highlight was, as an adult participant, just watching all the youth and how they interacted with the local community, how they interacted with each other. It was a very proudful moment as a parent, as an adult in the church. It was all positive every time. So I had to pick something different from what Lori said. And then the last highlight was listening to Guns N' Roses' Welcome to the Jungle while driving into the jungle.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so now if you've been on a trip before, come stand right in front here. Come on. Yeah, right. Why did you decide to come back on another trip? Grace, you get to start. So you've gone on a trip before. What made you decide that you wanted to go again?
And the North Shore was a lot smaller of a trip, and we just got really close with the people I never would have expected to, and it was just a really eye-opening thing for a lot of us, I think, because we just got so close. So I knew I wanted to go again, and Belize was equally cool, but in different ways. So
I'm Hallie, I'm a junior.
Oh, come on. What was that?
I'm Hallie, and I'm a junior.
There you go.
The North Shore, was definitely a lot smaller, and we got really close really fast, I feel like. I wanted to go to Belize because I wanted to have that experience again, but also with more people and, I don't know, experience new things.
My name is Willie. That was my third one. I also went to the Colorado trip. And the Belize trip was the amount of people here were a lot larger than the Colorado and the North Shore, probably combined. And it was great to make new bonds with people.
I'm Ben. I'm a senior. I think I decided to go to Belize as my third trip because it was an opportunity to go to an international location and just experience a new culture.
I'm Isabel, I'm a junior, and I decided to go because I really liked the North Shore trip and the bondage that we made with people.
I'm Jennifer, and I lost my voice, so sorry. It's all about relationships for me on the mission trips.
I feel privileged to go. It was an incredible week. I am more proud of you than I can begin to say. I can't help it. Okay? These young people rose to the occasion in so many ways, again and again and again. I'm so proud to be your pastor. And for those of you who are younger and will be going on mission trips, you have a very high bar to live up to. They've set a very high standard for you, but I know you can reach it when your day comes, that you will be just as caring, just as loving, just as fun, just as spiritually motivated as these high schoolers are. So I just feel very privileged and grateful. One of the best weeks I've had in a long, long time.
And we were grateful to have you with us. Thank you, everybody. So we are currently doing registration. We have 3 different summer trip options. The 2 I'm going to share with you about are options for our 9th graders and 7th and 8th graders. This is sort of, we do this because it's a picture of what's to come for you, something for you to get excited about and talk about and start building, asking questions, talking to some of these high schoolers. You now know some of their faces, and when you see them at school, you can wave or ask them something about their trip. But 9th graders, you can sign up. There is a Chicago mission trip in June, and Pastor Bruce is leading the trip to New Orleans, Louisiana for the youth gathering. So either one of those trips, registration goes until November 29th. And so these kids are all able to sign up, as well as our freshman class. So it is for current 9th through 12th grade. So 7th and 8th grade, it's coming up real soon for you. At this point, Pastor Bruce is going to come around with a microphone. Who has a question for Frank? Can you come up with us? Or any of the high schoolers? And can you just spread out on the ends now, our 2nd, 3rd year? Why don't you spread out or get all in one line? What questions do you have for any of these people or Frank? I know we talked a lot and you didn't get to. Frank is going to be here if you want to talk with him more, but questions? You can ask a specific youth, or if you, I know Connor wants to do one more shout out. Or Corey does?
Corey wants to answer questions.
Corey's answering questions? Oh, hold on, Rachel. Chicken. Woo.
Your favorite authentic Mexican meal as well.
Chicken, beans, and rice. We had a lot of chicken, beans, and rice.
Rice and beans. Beans and rice.
Uh-huh. Now the hands are shooting up.
Did you grow up in Belize?
Did what?
Madison, did you grow up in Belize?
Madison?
Frank, did you grow up in Belize?
Oh, I heard she said Madison. I'm like, what?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
who this is.
Oh, her name is Madison. She was introducing herself.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got that too. So, did you grow up in Belize?
Yes. Yes, I was born, grew up in Belize. Yes. So that's a yes.
Yes.
I'm Noah, and I have a question for Corey. What was your favorite meal?
You should have asked him that at home.
My favorite meal was probably chicken and rice. It's pretty flavorful. Just like the white rice. Yeah, the pork chops weren't that good.
The fruits to die for.
Ben, what was your favorite sport you played there?
What did you do with the kids? How about when you were there with
Volleyball.
Oh, they played volleyball. Yeah, they did play volleyball with the kids. At the kids' camp. So we flew kites, we did jump roping, we did beads, and we did a lot of bracelets, which I put the bracelet string is on the island. Stephanie.
Hi, my name's Stephanie. I was wondering if it's humid there.
Is it humid there? Yeah, it's very. Frank, what would you say about the humidity? You literally step outside your room and start sweating.
I'm Cora. What was some of the coolest wildlife that you saw?
Coolest wildlife. Oh, Connor.
We saw monkeys.
Yeah, we saw the monkeys. We saw tarantulas. We saw iguanas. What else? Cora. What else did we saw? Birds, dogs and cows. There are a lot of stray dogs running around. The cows looked very different from horses. Yeah. Soph.
I'm Sophie, and I was wondering how long the flight was.
Oh, it was actually only about 4 hours. So a couple hours to Dallas, and then a couple hours to Belize.
Where did you guys stay in Belize?
Where did we stay? Connors. Why were there spiders? Because there are spiders. Anytime you go to Central America, I think you're going to experience. I thankfully did not see any of the big spiders. But where? Oh, yeah. So where did we stay? Who wants to answer that? Where did we stay?
I don't remember the first one. What was the first one's name?
Place?
The hotel.
The Aguada.
Drift In.
The Drift In, yeah.
So because our group was so huge, we got the luxury of sleeping in air conditioning, which I heard is not normal, but very grateful for. So the first night we stayed at the Driftwood Inn, or no, it was the first
Drift In.
Three
yeah.
nights? 3 nights.
4.
4 nights.
We were there 4 nights.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then the next
and
one
then
was
3
at the
nights.
The
Black Orchid.
Yeah.
So we were at 2 different hotel type accommodations where we had beds. Now, I will say that in 20 years of doing mission trips, that is the only time I have stayed in a hotel every night on a mission trip. When we are in Chicago, we are sleeping on air mattresses on a church floor. And those of you that have gone, both of them are equally fun for different reasons, right? The cool thing about sleeping on air mattresses on a church floor is all the girls are in one area and the guys are in one area. It's sort of like a big slumber party all week long, right? We have to sleep because we get up and we work really hard, and we need to eat a lot of food because we're burning calories, but you have to sleep. But we stayed in hotels for this one, but typical is like in a church, and we'll stay in a hotel just the last night. So
I have one thing to add. I hope it's okay to say in church, but when you use the bathrooms, you do not flush any toilet paper down, ever. Ever. Trash can.
And that's just being in the United States. Several countries other than the United States have to do that because their plumbing just does not support. You can't push it down, so it would get clogged. So, okay, we'll take 3 more, and then we're going to go to small groups, and I will come around and answer any other questions in small groups. Okay? You get one just for coming as a participant. Okay, Kipton.
What was the coolest animal you guys saw?
I think the coolest animal, everybody probably has a different input on that. The monkeys. I think the sound of the monkeys was probably yeah.
How many kids were at the camp?
How many, at the kids' camp? How many would you guess were at the 30? 20, 30. Yeah, they'd pick up kids from the community and they'd hang out. Yeah, so the second day there were more. And they came to the local school, and that's where we hung out and played games with them, and it was super hot. I mean, these guys were giving piggyback rides. You saw Corey in 90-degree heat, sun beating down, no cloud. It was very fun, but it was also we needed showers by the end of the day, for sure.
What was the best fruit?
Fruit? Probably some mixed, pineapple, mango, banana.
I think that was the last one.
Okay, so.
I just have one other thing. Okay.
Where's Katie?
I
Katie,
count
you
it a
ready?
great privilege to have gotten to know Frank in this last year. He is a young man of deep, deep faith, and he is also now a world-class scientist. So if any of you think that you cannot be a top-flight scientist and a very faithful Christian. Frank is the poster child for being able to do both. You can do great science and you can have a deep faith, and Frank does both. And I just am excited about what's ahead for you both as far as your ministry and also your archaeology. That I'm just excited to see what the future holds for you. So thank you for doing both and being both.
Good.
All right.
And we're so grateful to have you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here with us
Yes, thank you
this
for
past
having me.
week.
So get on your feet. We're going to sing Open the Eyes of My Heart for our closing.